I have been so blessed in my career to have wonderful teachers. It wasn't until I started going to Europe in my mid-30s that I really came into contact with old organs and realized that these instruments are my real teachers. What you can learn from an old organ is invaluable because you're really hopping in a time machine. And these instruments were alive when the great music that we perform was composed. In this country, we don't have original documents. We don't have old organs, so we have to reproduce them. And fortunately, we have fantastic builders on this continent who are able to do this very careful work in attempting to recreate the old instruments. Paul Fritts is more or less at home in this style of building. It's his native language. Just before Paul started to build the organ, he called me and he said, "I have fallen into a load of old-growth fir." So it's Douglas fir, probably he thinks from British Columbia, and he thinks it's about 800 years old. And it's darkening over a period of time, and he said it will become a very rich, dark honey color. Paul Fritts' sister, Judy Fritts, is the carver. The program for the organ case was more or less everything that has life and breath praises God, from the lowest creatures of the sea to the highest creatures of the earth and the sky. There's a six-legged starfish, a little bit of artistic license. There are waves which crash on the shoreline and make sound. There are mollusks, symbol of baptism. There are water lilies. There are birds, owls, symbol of knowledge. There are two roses for Mary, symbol of the university. There are 4 herons. Those are my favorite. They're so delicate and so beautifully carved. The outer towers have cardinals, the state bird of Indiana. And then in the center tower at the top, there is the sun, the moon, and the clouds of heaven. So it ascends from the depths of the sea up to the heavens. It's really remarkably well done. The number of stops is a convenient way for an organist to know how versatile the instrument is. In this particular case, we have 35 stops. The possible number of combinations of stops is 2, in this case, 2 to the 35th. That number is 34.3 billion possibilities for combining stops. The Fritts organ has a very lively wind system. Organs that speak with a German accent have a lot of transient noise at the beginning of the pipe speech. We call this chiff, or articulation. And it's a matter of being able to work very sensitively with the wind and with the action to control the amount and the intensity of the pipe speech. You can actually do subtle crescendo and decrescendo phrasing with this instrument. It's a fantastic experience. I think that the key action is so sensitive that the organist can really feel the wind in an extraordinarily close-up and very personal way. You're able better with a wind system like this to shape a phrase. You're better able to understand how the pipes are speaking. You can attack more slowly or more quickly. You can give more wind or less wind. You can create very subtle gradations of sound and crescendo and decrescendo. So it becomes an ideal instrument upon which to play Baroque music because It mimics somehow the old instruments in Europe that had these exact wind and action characteristics. This instrument is my partner, and I tell my students the more time they can spend on that instrument, the more they're going to learn. It will be the best teacher they've ever had. It is very much a partnership: music, student, professor, organ.